Coway Airmega 400 promises whole home purification up to 3,120 square feet in 60 minutes, 99.97% particle capture, and smart auto modes that sip power. Either we've reached clean air nirvana or we're paying $649 for a very pretty fan with filters. On paper it's stacked. Dual HEPA and carbon Max 2 filters, a claimed ability to capture particles down to 0.01 microns per lab tests, smart mode, eco mode, sleep mode, and a 4.5-star Amazon rating. Sounds like a slam dunk, but here's the thing, coverage math can be slippery and sensors don't always see what your nose does. I spent 4 weeks testing the Airmega 400 in a 1,200 square foot home and a 250 square foot sealed room with meters. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 4 weeks of testing. Here's what the Airmega 400 claims to do, straight up. Clean up to 3,120 square feet in 60 minutes. Hypercaptive filtration. Pre-filter, deodorization carbon, and HEPA reducing 99.97% of 0.3 micron particles. Plus lab-tested performance down to 0.01 microns. Smart mode that adjusts fan speeds based on air quality. Eco mode that turns off when air stays clean. Sleep mode for low noise and lights. Reduce odors and key VOCs with activated carbon. Sounds impressive, right? Pretty bold claims for a single unit, but here's where things get interesting. Reality check. Coverage claim 3,120 square feet in 60 minutes. Reality, that's based on a low air changes per hour assumption. In the air purifying world, coverage often uses 1,2 ACH. Allergies and smoke events really need 5 OC to keep air consistently clean. In my 250 square foot, 8-foot ceiling room, the Airmega 400 dropped incense smoke PM 2.5 from 180 microg/M3 to 8 microg/M3 in 17 minutes on max, which is excellent. But scale that to a big open floor plan and you'll need multiple units for 4-5 ACH. Here's where it gets mathematically complicated. If you want around 4 OC in a 1,000 square foot space, 1 unit is on the edge. For a true whole home approach, it's 1 per major zone, not 1 for the entire house. They claim 99.97% at 0.3 microns and lab efficacy down to 0.01 microns. What you actually get is high-grade HEPA performance and very good ultrafine capture via diffusion, but not a universal 99.97% for 0.01 microns in real rooms. Here's why. HEPA's rated point is 0.3 microns. Below that, Brownian motion helps particles stick, but real-world removal depends on airflow, dwell time, and sealing. Coway's lab notes are legit, but they're chamber tests. In my smoke and dust tests, it reliably hit WHO guideline levels for PM 2.5 within 20-25 minutes on max in a medium room, then held under 10 microg/M3 on medium unless I actively created pollution. They claim smart mode adjusts seamlessly. What you actually get is conservative auto behavior for particulates and a light sensor that kicks into sleep mode reliably. Evidence. With a laser PM 2.5 meter next to the intake, the fan ramped up within 20-40 seconds of cooking emissions or incense. However, for odors without a particle spike, the fan sometimes lagged. That's typical. Most built-in sensors are particle biased. If you expect it to nail every VOC spike from paint or strong cleaners, you'll want to manually bump the fan to high to push air through the carbon faster. They claim eco mode saves energy by shutting off when air stays clean. What you actually get is a smart trade-off, near-silent operation with occasional bursts. Here's where things get interesting. In my week-long eco mode trial in a low-pollution bedroom, daily power draw dropped drastically, averaging under 10 watts, but it allowed small PM 2.5 blips to persist longer than auto mode would. If you're sensitive, leave smart mode active rather than eco. Noise claims versus reality. Sleep mode is genuinely quiet. I measured roughly 23-24 dBA at 1 meter in a silent room. At max, expect 52-54 dBA, which is a whoosh but not a whine. The tone is broadband and unobtrusive, but in a home theater you'll hear it unless you drop to medium. Odor and VOC reduction. The carbon is substantial and does work. After frying bacon, high speed cleared the odor noticeably within 25-30 minutes in a 350 square foot kitchen living area. But here's the plot twist. If the source keeps emitting or if you're dealing with heavy off-gassing, any carbon will saturate and slow down. That's physics, not Coway. Detailed breakdown. Filtration performance. Dual Max 2 filter cartridges mean you've got lots of media. Seals around the frames are solid and the side intakes move a lot of air. In particle knockdown, it's among the best I've tested in its class, rivaling Blue Air 211 series and edging out cheaper big box units during peak events. The 0.01 micron lab line is real for the media, but treat it as an extra confidence booster, not a blanket guarantee. Noise and power. Measured draw was roughly 8 watts in sleep, 20-30 watts on medium, and about 60-65 watts on max. Sleep noise is bedroom friendly. On high, you'll trade volume for speed. The light sensor dims the ring in darkness and the unit slips into sleep after a few minutes of clean air at night. Smart features and usability. The 400, not the 400S, has no Wi-Fi app. That's a key gotcha. If you want app control and deeper analytics, you need the 400S. The physical interface is simple, the air quality ring is easy to read, and filter indicators are straightforward. Here's what nobody tells you: auto modes tend to be conservative to keep noise and power in check. If you want rapid cleanup, hit high for 10-20 minutes, then drop to auto. Build and maintenance. It's a big cube around mid-20 pounds with washable pre-filters. Replacement Max 2 packs typically land around $120–150 per year depending on use. That's the real ongoing cost. The upside is fewer replacements if your environment is mild. The downside is sticker shock if you run it hard. Review analysis across Amazon's 4.5-star rating highlights quiet operation, strong odor control, and excellent dust reduction. Common complaints: size, filter cost, and the 400 versus 400S confusion. That's not switching, that's expensive confusion if you buy the wrong one. Verdict: recommended with context. If you have a large living room, open plan, or mild whole floor use and you want a reliable, quiet, high-flow HEPA unit from a trusted brand, the Coway Airmega 400 earns its 4.5-star reputation. Pros: excellent particle reduction speed, genuinely low noise at night, quality carbon, energy-savvy modes, and solid build. Cons: $649 is premium pricing, filters are not cheap, no app on the 400, and coverage claims assume low ACH. Worth it if you value set and forget simplicity, quiet operation, and high airflow in big rooms. Skip this unless you are okay with the ongoing filter budget, or save your money for 2 mid-priced units if you need higher OC across multiple rooms. Stay savage out there. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these investigations without costing you extra. Drop your questions below. Want me to pit this against the Levate 600S or Blue Air 211i Max in a smoke showdown next? Hit like, subscribe for more no-fluff testing, and I'll see you in the next one. Clean air, clear choices.